The following podcast is a mass media production.
Hi, I'm Josh Galindo.
And I'm Krystal Galindo. Welcome to the Going Galindo Rugrats and Renovations podcast.
A lifestyle podcast where we will offer our experience and expertise in building real, lasting wealth through renovating and flipping homes.
And the chaos that comes with balancing a family of 6, leaving nothing unsaid.
Follow our wild ride we call life and apply our lessons to your own journey. All right, I'm really excited about today's episode because today we're going to talk about things that you don't say to yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of things to say to yourself, but a lot of people forget about the things that you don't want to say to yourself. All that mind chatter, sometimes it could be negative. Sometimes you're programmed to think negatively. Today we're going to talk about how to deprogram the negative stuff and reprogram the positive stuff.
Yes. Hey guys, if you're looking for some family fun, check out Circus Hotel and Casino. At Circus, there's something for everyone. Have a blast inside the Adventure Dome. It's a 5-acre indoor theme park with 25 rides, including their newest thrill ride, Nebula Z. Or act like a kid again at the Midway, playing arcade games or enjoying their daily free circus acts. Looking for a special date night? Look no further than their award-winning restaurant called The Steakhouse, voted best steakhouse in Las Vegas. And Circus offers affordable room rates starting at $29 per night. Book your stay today at circuscircus.com. I think mindset is so important in everything, not just business, but your personal life too.
There's a lot of questions around mindset. People ask, well, how do you get there? What do you do?
Yeah.
What does it require? What are the qualities of it? How do I improve mine? One, I want to just say that that's a great question. I want to give credit to those people that are seeking that information because that is the basis of improving your life, which is first seeking the information to make your mind better.
Are mindset and attitude the same thing?
That's a good one. Are mindset and attitude the same thing? Go. What do you think?
I would say they kind of run in the same. I mean, just like you can control your attitude, people think you can't control your mind, but in reality, you can. I mean, you have to, like, if someone says something to you and you have to control the way you're reacting to it with, like, and not having an attitude or you're setting yourself for a goal and you really want it to happen, so you have a positive attitude, you have a positive outlook to it. I think that's the same thing with your mind.
Is it a blend? I think it's a blend. What you just said at the very end there makes it sound like it is a blend. Is attitude and mindset the same thing? Attitude and mindset.
I don't know if they're...
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to contradict you.
Okay,
just for fun. Doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
I think mindset is a set of tools that you could tap into. Mm-hmm. And I think attitude is a filter, or I think attitude is a...
Is it an expression?
One of those tools.
Okay.
In that shed. So you got like your attitude. You got to have your attitude right. You got to have your tenacity. I think attitude is a characteristic that, or is a descriptive word for the types of tools you have to have in your mindset box. You got to have a good attitude. You got to have tenacity. You've got to have the ability to never give up. Mm-hmm. You've got to have... I'm never going to take the answer as no. The answer no. I'm never going to take
no for an answer.
No for an answer.
I think that for me, I think attitude is an expression of what's in your mind. So if you are having a bad day, right, you need to shift it in your mind to not have a bad day. But if you're having a bad day, like you get a flat tire, you're going to have a bad attitude the rest of the day. Like, I got a flat tire, and now I'm late, and now I'm into work, and now I have to, it's just all negative. So I feel like attitude is an expression of what your mindset is at the moment.
Okay.
So I think it does go hand in hand.
I think they could go hand in hand. On that note, though, something that I remember learning when I was kidnapped out of my bed at 16 and sent to Ensenada, Mexico to live for 16 months.
Yeah, I could totally relate to that.
Was I remember, and I think it's pretty common, you start your day based on the first action of it and what you obsess over. If you obsess over the outcome of each of those actions. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you wake up, you stub your toe. Now you're obsessing over how pissed you are that you stubbed your toe.
Yeah.
Now you're walking to the shower and you're so pissed about stubbing your toe, you forget to turn off your alarm. Mm-hmm. Now you get in the shower and you're still kind of obsessing over the alarm. You think you're doing well. Then your alarm goes off and you're like, I just don't want to take a shower. My alarm won't stop beeping. Now you got to stop your shower, walk out in the cold, go turn your alarm off. Now you're so pissed about your alarm that you end up being late to work. Now you're so pissed about being late to work, you forget your phone at home. Mm-hmm. Now you're so pissed about leaving your phone at home that you miss 3 of your appointments. By missing those 3 appointments, you've now lost money. You're pissed about losing money. So then you go home and you yell at your kids. You're so pissed about yelling at your kids that you yell at your husband because you're all obsessed and not focused. You get my point. The trend of continuing to obsess over your mistakes is so detrimental to the future.
Right. Like all those things happen because you stubbed your toe.
Right. But all those things also happen because you wouldn't stop focusing on the last bad thing that happened to you. And I think that is what rolls into attitude. Bad shit is going to always happen. That's just life.
Right.
It's what it is.
Right.
If it's how you respond to it. I know it sounds cheesy, but I think that's attitude. So if you stub your toe, you immediately have to make a conscious choice to move on from that incident so that you could get back into a positive state of mind. Mm-hmm. You can't obsess over it. You need to refocus, stop, let me think, let me stop. Okay, it's fine, it hurt, it's all good. I'm going to have a great day. Make a conscious choice to move on from that moment.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you kind of wipe the slate clean. If you don't wipe the slate clean, you carry all that shit with you all day. And all that shit with you just slows you down. Mm-hmm. And it puts you into a position to make another mistake. So attitude is what I think is a huge factor in how you respond to the day's shit. Mm-hmm. And I think that's actually almost as important as mindset. If you can't respond well to it, then you can forget using your extra tools that you have tucked away in the shed, in the mindset shed. You can't even pull them out if you try.
Okay, can we double down on that when you wake up in the morning and
fire away.
I think we should double down on that because I think that's very, very important for me and how I learned to switch my mind is like, even if I got shitty sleep that day, it's like when I wake up, I want to get ready. I want to brush my teeth. I want to do my makeup. I want to get dressed so I feel good about myself in order to set myself up to have a good mind for that day. Like if you wake up, you're like, I'm just going to lay around in pajamas. I don't have anywhere to go. I'll get ready later. You're just going to have a lazy ass day.
I agree. You're teeing yourself up for success for the day.
So how you set yourself up is in the morning, whether you stub your toe or not. You have to shift your mind to be ready to take on that day.
So the question is can mindset be taught?
I think mindset can be taught.
Absolutely, I think mindset. I think mindset is taught. It can be taught in both directions.
Yeah.
It can be taught negatively, right? Mm-hmm. Mindset is just a state of mind. It's how you perceive the world. It's a set of glasses and the way you look through them. If the glasses are prescription, you see them you see the world a certain way. If they're not prescription, you see it a different way. Mm-hmm. So that is all taught to you from the second your brain starts absorbing information, the second you open your eyes when you're a baby. And it can be taught either direction.
Right.
You can be taught that you're a failure. You could be taught that you aren't capable of succeeding. You could be taught that you are a winner in everything that you do. You could be taught that you can succeed at anything that you do. So absolutely, but it can be taught either direction. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I think the struggle comes as you get older and you kind of have to go into the world on your own as an adult, is you, unfortunately, if you have a mindset that isn't serving you well, you almost have to become untaught. You have to unteach yourself that. And then replace it with what does serve you well. Mm-hmm. So can it be learned? 100% yes. I will tell you from personal experience, I grew up with the most mixed batch of mindset that you can get. One, I'm not worthy. Mm-hmm. Why am I not worthy? Because my dad left me when I was young. If I was a worthy young boy, my dad would have never left. Mm-hmm. So I immediately made a self-limiting belief that I'm not worthy. My mom, on the other hand, taught me that I was capable of doing anything I put my mind to. Mm-hmm. She banged that into my brain. You are a capable individual. You can do anything, Josh. I had that mindset.
Right.
I blew out my eye, with the hammer.
Right.
I was insecure. Thought that, I was different than everybody else. felt that I was different. My mom raised me, felt that I was different. So all of those different things I was programmed to see the world through. When I was taken to Mexico, they literally had to identify the bad sets of mind that I had and reprogram them. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes time, it takes dedication, but it can absolutely be done. So
I think that's a good point. I think in order for me to change my mindset, and I don't even know why I was necessarily in a negative space, but I think it took for me to change my mind, like every morning, like, okay, I'm going to choose to have a good day. Anything that happens, I'm going to make sure that I complete this task, and then I'm going to feel rewarded for completing this task, and then I'm going to know that I could do this the next day and the next day. I think it took for me to put my mind towards things, making sure that I was staying on top of myself, of being positive about it, completing that task, and then doing it again and again, to where it was like, okay, I didn't want to wake up and feel bad. It felt, I was like on a high to feel good.
So obviously, I think something that we learned that was super valuable was during COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. We said to ourselves, we looked at each other, we said, a lot of the people are locking down, are quarantining, they're not leaving their house, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, and they're restricting their life in fear of ultimately getting COVID.
Yes.
You and I looked at each other, we said, let's live every single day in abundance, and then that way, if we do get COVID,
we knew
we're only down for a week.
Yeah.
But at least we got the other 51 weeks out of the year to live abundantly. That's mindset. We described what we wanted. We wanted to live in the fullest way possible. We took action to make sure that happened, and we executed.
Yes.
That's mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. So then Krystal gets diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yes.
Now we really upped the ante on how powerful our minds were. We looked at each other and said, we can sit on the couch, put everything else on autopilot in our lives,
Yeah.
and obsess over how to fix Krystal's cancer cell or whatever the hell was wrong.
I can't.
Which you can't. Or we could say we're going to live every single day of our lives to the best ability, with the fullest outcome that we can possibly create, and then deal with each problem as they come.
Yes.
And what did we do?
That's what we did.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's a tool. It's a conscious choice. Mindset is the power to choose what you want your reality to be.
So what do you say to people? Because I know, for me, not anymore, I don't believe this, but people say it's not a choice. That's how I feel.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in a few things. I think a good question that Brooke actually, or a statement that maybe came up was, what are some of the things to not say or think?
Okay.
Or in your mind. One thing that I don't believe in is I don't really believe in patience. The reason I don't believe in patience is because if you're a patient person, you're okay with a factor in your life being completely out of your control. And then the root of that mindset there is that you don't believe you have the power or the ability to control it. So you enact this emotion called patience, and you sit and relax and wait. I'm not a believer in that. I don't believe in patience. I think patient people are people that are okay with having their reality be not the way they want it to be. And instead of saying that that's what it is and just being, they go, I'm just a patient person. For me, I'm not patient. I'm fucking pissed if I don't get my way. If I don't get my way, I get pissed. Yeah. Now, I also know that I have to navigate in society, in the rules that society has given me, where I can't just be a wild animal to get my way. So now, instead of just being a victim of, I can't get my way unless I'm a wild animal, which being a wild animal isn't accepted in society, so I'll just do nothing. I said, how do I still get my way and not act like a wild animal? So how do I still navigate the boxes of society while getting my way? Again, that's mindset. I said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to have finesse. I'm going to improve my vocabulary. I'm going to be persuasive. I'm going to encourage other people to do what I want and show them why it's of value to them as well. These are all tools that I've developed. That's mindset. It's a desire to have something and then taking massive action to go and get it.
I think you made a good point there, Josh. I think because it's easy to say, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, but sometimes it's easier to take what you shouldn't do.
Shouldn't do. Things you should never, ever say to yourself is I can't. I'm okay with taking the answer no. I'm okay waiting. I don't think I can do that. Everything bad always happens to me. I'm an underdog mentality. Things don't go my way. Better luck next time. Those are all fucking toxic statements. Like, I don't even... what's interesting, it was a great question. You almost reversed what not to say to myself. I so often don't say those things that it's difficult for me to recite
to come up
them
with
out.
Yeah.
Seriously, I just don't even think about that stuff. Now, let's reverse it the other way. What are some of the things to say? I can accomplish anything. I don't take no as an answer. And not taking no for an answer, I make sure that all parties win, but I still get my yes. Always ask. Like, some of the things that, like, we go to restaurants, right? We sit down. They give us the shittiest table in the restaurant. The place is dead. I'm like, why the fuck am I sitting at this shitty table? Most would just be okay with it. I get up and I go ask. I go, hey, listen, I want a better table. At least I want to understand why they sat me at that table. Most of the time, the server or the hostess or hoster wasn't even thinking. They just sat me at the shitty table. But I want a better table, so I go ask for it and I get the better table. The other thing is never think like a sheep. Think about this for a second, right?
Okay.
You're rolling up to a stoplight. There's 50 cars, and you look to the right, and there's another lane. And you get into that lane, and you drive all the way up to the red light, and there's 2 cars in front. Does it ever cross your mind to ask yourself, why is those 49 cars in that line okay stopping behind the car in front of them? Yeah. And knowing that there are 40 more cars in front of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. I'm like, talk about sheep society. Don't be a sheep. That's what it is. It's the sheep society. You know, so we're going to the Raiders game. Everybody complains about how bad the Raiders parking is. Yep. It's the worst experience I've ever had in my whole life. I asked my buddy, I go, hey, I haven't gone yet. I heard that you went to the Garth Brooks concert. How was the parking? He goes, well, I drove to the front of the stadium and I parked. And I was like, how the fuck did you do that? He goes, well, I think what's happening is everybody's hearing this perception of bad parking, so everybody's parking off site and transporting in because they think parking's so bad. So what's really happening is the available parking's not being used. So then I go to the Raiders game. I'm like, I'm driving to the front of the building. Yeah. How far do we park from the front of the building?
Oh, like a stoplight.
I don't know, a 6-minute walk?
Yeah.
Yeah. These people are starting at Red Rock, at the M Resort, and all this crazy shit because they just have been programmed and they're just willing to accept the answer of society that the parking is bad over there. I was like, I'm going to make sure that the parking is bad. And if it is bad, then it's bad. But I want to be the one to verify that. I'm not just going to take the word for it and be a sheep.
Yeah, you tried to park in the front of the building, too, first.
Yeah, I started there.
You tried like 4 times.
No, but I think when we just talk about mindset, at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is just picture something in our mind. This is what I want. What does it take for me to get that? That's the power of mindset.
Right, and that it really can be that simple.
Exactly. It is that simple.
Yeah.
It is that simple. It's a choice.
It is
like
a
if
choice.
I wanted a Lamborghini right now, I would just choose to have a Lamborghini and I would go and have it.
And you would do it.
It sounds so simple.
Yeah.
But I would put all the pieces in place to have that.
Right. You would wake up and you're like, I'm not going to Starbucks today because I want a Lamborghini. So today I'm going to save that $5.
Right.
I'm not going to go to dinner with my friends tonight because I really don't want to go and I don't want to spend that $30 and I want a Lamborghini.
As long as you filter every single... Okay, so here's what you do. Is you set a goal in your mind, right? You set a goal.
Yeah.
This is how you can obtain anything that you put your mind to. We make about, 5,000 decisions a day.
Yeah.
Think about it. You make a decision to stand up. You make a decision to go to the bathroom at a certain time. You make a decision to pick up the phone, to text, to social media, to buy a property, to whatever it is. We make a ton of decisions a day. If every single decision that you make in a day is filtered and ensured that it is in alignment with your goal, you will always get to your goal. And let me give you some perspective. I want to buy a house, right? I don't own a house yet. If I get to work every day at 7 a.m., I know that puts me on track to buy my house. Why? Because I'm able to work more hours. I'm able to generate more money. Ultimately, being able to save more money, being able to put that money down on a house and then buy the house. Okay, Krystal invites me to go on a date. Super hot chick, has everything I ever wanted. Great body, great smile, great personality.
Keep going. Keep going.
Hits me with a, hey, Josh, I want to go on a date, but I can't go out until 11 p.m. That's a decision that I have to make at that moment. Now, if I take my goal and I scrub that decision with my goal, I will say to myself, if I go out with her, I probably won't be home till 1, which means I have to sleep until 9 so that I can function the next day, which makes me a step further away from ultimately buying my house. So I have to scrub that choice with my goal, and then if it's in alignment, then I keep going. If it's not in alignment, then I say no. That's all it comes down to. It's literally that simple.
Yeah.
You know, there's 1,000 scenarios I can build that way. You know, I'm walking down the street, I see Krystal in this really cool jacket. Jacket's $300. I want to buy a new car. I go to the store. I see the jacket for $300. I remember the emotional experience I had seeing Krystal in it, which makes me want to have the same emotional experience personally by wearing the jacket myself. I have a choice right there. Do I buy the $300 jacket, or do I save the $300 so I can buy a car? You scrub every single decision that you make at every moment during the day with your goal at hand. If you keep that goal here in the front of your mind, then you will always accomplish all of your goals.
And going back to goal setting, I think the biggest thing with setting a goal is you start with small, attainable goals. Like, ultimately, if you want to be a millionaire, you should become a fucking millionaire. But if you're just shooting to become a millionaire when you haven't even scratched the surface, it's going to seem very impossible. So you have to start with small, attainable goals.
And why do you start with small, attainable goals? Because accomplishment equals confidence. So the more that you accomplish, the more confident you become. So if you start with a small goal, which just say, I want to wake up at 7 a.m. Seems small, but if you do it, now you go, damn, I can do that.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yep.
You feel that? It feels a little bit better. You feel a little more confident. Feel a little more power.
Yeah.
Feel a little bit more empowered to be able to control your destiny. I can wake up at 7. How do I know that? Because I proved it.
Right.
I did it for the last week. Okay, now you go to the next goal. And then you if it's, whatever it is, something small, you accomplish that. I did it. I feel a little bit better. Now I can take on the next goal. I did it. I feel a little bit better. Accomplishment equals confidence. The more confidence you have, the bigger, stronger, more challenging goals that you can accomplish. Think, if we have 33 homes, rental properties, and now we're buying the building. A $3.5 million building, $1 million down, right? Big boy shit. Like, we have to manage commercial tenants and da-da-da-da, and if an AC goes out, it's $10,000 instead of $3. There's big problems that come here. Imagine on day one, meaning 0 rental properties, somebody said, you need to buy this building.
I would have been
I go, no way, not even in my league, not even in my league. But rental number 1 was a challenge. We overcame it.
Yep.
It was an accomplishment. It generated a new level of confidence. Rental number 5, there were challenges. We overcame them. It was an accomplishment. Created more confidence. Every single step adds another batch of confidence, which gives us the will and the track record, the history, the knowing that we can accomplish the next task.
Right,
why? Because all I have to do is look back at my trail and go, I blazed all that shit.
Right.
Adulting is hard. You know what shouldn't be hard? Buying a house. Robert Coomer is a stand-up guy that does what he says he's going to do. He's helped us and our friends buy and refinance houses for the past 15 years or so. Every time we know we're getting the best service possible and the person on the other end of that phone call has a smile on their face. And that leaves a smile on ours. So call Robert Coomer. He does all the heavy lifting for you so you can worry about the more important things. Like, what kind of wine pairs well with leftover pizza? Seriously, give him and his team a call at 702-850-2000. You won't regret it.
Mindset mistakes, comparing yourself to others.
Yes, don't do that.
Comparing yourself to other people. Why I think that's so toxic. One, it's distraction.
Yeah.
Let's remember, to accomplish a goal is obsession, meaning the only thing that you're looking at is the end game the whole time. Whatever your goal is right there. Mm-hmm. When you start comparing yourself to other people, you're turning your head to the right and you're turning your head to the left. That means you're not focused on your goal.
Right.
It's distraction. Distraction slows you down. Comparing yourself to other people is so toxic because you never compare yourself to the lesser people of your situation. You're not looking at the little guy going, God, I'm crushing it. You're always looking at the guy above you going, I'm not doing enough. Mm-hmm. It's just human nature. That's not self-esteem boosting.
No.
And what do you need to accomplish a goal? Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Confidence. So stay focused on your goal. Give yourself credit for what you're doing. Don't compare yourself to other people of what you're not doing, because all that does is take away from your pot of confidence. So, yeah, I would.
And I would say, even, I know this sounds like small and kind of amateur, but like as a parent, if your daughter came home and was like, I want to be like Susie, you would be like, you don't want to be like Susie. You're going to be better than Susie. Like, use that mentality for yourself as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. You don't want to be better than Susie. You are your own individual.
Right.
And own it.
Right.
Be proud of it.
Right.
That's the big one.
Because
when you're comparing yourself to other people, you're not acknowledging what you've accomplished. To not compare yourself to other people, you need to focus on yourself and give yourself credit and be thankful for who you are on every level. Overcomplicating things. I think that goes back to the analysis paralysis thing.
Yes.
So you're constantly in preparation. You're overanalyzing. You're overcomplicating. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing with life. You just got to fucking make the decision.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with having made a bad decision.
Right. Right. I think that if you overthink and you overcomplicate it, you're going to literally decide yourself out of that decision to where you're just going to be doing exactly what you were doing before.
The reason I think people resist making new decisions is that it pushes them out of their comfort zone. I actually think the whole dynamic of the brain is all rooted in comfort zone.
It is.
It's all
100%.
rooted in comfort zone.
100%.
I don't want to make that decision because I might become uncomfortable.
Because it takes...
I don't want to accomplish that goal because it might make me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Your brain operates off of muscle memory, and like your brain is a giant muscle, so it wants to use the least amount of muscle as possible. So when you're doing things, you're going through the motions. But if you're doing something different or outside of that, it's going to take more brain power to do it. Mm-hmm. So you have to get out, and it's uncomfortable because your brain's not used to it.
No. Yeah. Yeah. It's all rooted in comfort zone. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed the show, please rate, subscribe, and share our podcast. You can also connect with us on social media or at galindogrouprealestate.com.
Until next time, thanks again for listening.